I was told that I would never be loved in high school because of the way I looked. Yeah. People would always record me. I said that in my last video. I'll give the same example I gave in my last video. Yeah, so someone sent this video out and everyone was screenshotting it and sending it around. I was just minding my business.
So I had my whole table set up and I'm like, yo, I need a pencil, duh. So I'm digging through my bag and like from my peripheral, I see a guy walk past my table. And while he's walking, he does a 1, 2, 3. So he did a triple take. So I'm like, okay. And I see this all from my side. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. And he comes to my table. He takes off his like beats. And as soon as I turn around and we make eye contact, he backs away like he just seen a crime scene. And in my head, I'm like, just like that. Like, I know I'm not Rihanna, but I'm not Jay-Z, bitch. You didn't have to do me like that. That was uncalled for, sir.
Okay, so does pretty privilege actually exist, or are you just pretty? So if we're going to tone it down right to the start, pretty privilege is basically where you have more opportunities in life and you will be more successful if you are pretty. And yeah, pretty privilege does exist. It does. And for those people that say it doesn't, it is usually the people who already fit in with today's beauty standards. They don't notice the change in how they are treated compared to someone who doesn't fit into today's cultural beauty standards. And therefore, for them, no, pretty privilege doesn't exist. But that is only because they can't tell the difference. It's the same with being of a different race or a different culture and noticing how white people are treating a Western culture compared to how maybe a black person or Asian person is treating a Western culture. Looking back at psychology of things, there have been quite a lot of studies on determining whether attractiveness is the main goal in life. For example, Snyder did a study back in like the 1900s, I assume, where he put men on a call with a woman. He gave half the men like a picture of a really beautiful, attractive girl in their beauty standards, and then gave half the men a pretty just like, they'd say ugly picture of a girl in the beauty standards in that generation. And they made them be on the phone to someone. They probably were on the phone to the same person. But the men that had this beautiful picture of this girl said, wow, the girl was so friendly, so amazing, I am basically in love. And the men that had the ugly picture of the girl said that she was distant, she wasn't easy to talk to. And it showed right there that the picture of how pretty this girl is or how not pretty this girl is determined whether you just liked that girl, whether you gave that girl a chance. And the sad thing is, it's pretty true. It really is. There was another one by Hatfield et al. This was in like 1960s, I think. He did a blind date. He got a bunch of girls to go on a date with these guys, and almost every guy said the pretty girl was the person that they had the perfect match with. Even if on that date, they both enjoyed the date. But just seeing the attractiveness of one girl, they were like, she is my perfect match. Rather than this really bubbly, kind-hearted girl who didn't fit into their standards of beauty. There's another thing about the matching phenomenon. It's where you kind of fit in and befriend and have a romantic partner with the people that you think are beautiful as you. And have you heard that saying that you are as good as your weakest link? Something like that, as in like if you have a group of friends, you and your whole friendship group is as good as the weakest friend in that group, basically. Meaning they are judging all of you off of who you hang around with, off of who you associate with. Today's class of pretty will be so different to the 2000s class of pretty and the 1900s class of pretty. And the way that it's so different, yet pretty privilege exists in every single different type of beauty standard is so crazy to me. How someone who's getting the privilege now of being successful and getting all these opportunities in like 20 years time might not. And it might be the ugly friend in the group that gets those opportunities and that's success. Madison Beer. She is freaking gorgeous. We can all admit it. We've all seen it. If you don't know that she has talent, she is a singer, but if you didn't know that, which probably most people wouldn't know that, they'd just know her for her looks. And like, I don't listen to any of Madison Beer's songs. I think I've heard like one, honestly. I literally only know her for her looks. That's literally all I know for. And that's kind of all she seems to be famous for, because that's all everyone talks about. And yeah, she has this pretty privilege. She has the chance to, everyone is in love with her. All these girls, like, literally want to be her. But that's the negative side. The fact that she's constantly getting picked apart. People are thinking, if she's so pretty, is she fake? Is she this? Is she that? The fact that they saw her picture while she was stood outside like a surgery place, and they decided that, yeah, she's had lip fillers done. Even though Madison Beer herself said, no, I've not. But the only thing in that situation is the fact that if you look at old pictures of Madison Beer and new pictures of Madison Beer, she does honestly look like she's had lip fillers. She does look like she's had lip fillers. And yeah, if you're looking at pictures like that and then you're looking at seeing pictures of her outside surgeries, you're gonna believe it. And if she is lying about that, then I think that's quite a bad thing to do when you have such a big fan base. But that is for a whole new topic. Another example is Ted Bundy. Now, this guy was an absolute criminal. We all have heard of him. But the only thing that fully blew my mind was the fact that when he died, everyone was like, or even when he was convicted, everyone was like, no, can't be him. He's too pretty to be a serial killer. He's too charming to be a serial killer. Oh my god, I can't believe he's died. He was so handsome to have died. That is crazy to me. That is crazy. The fact we have all this evidence of this man being completely just not okay in the head, and we are like, no, it's not him. He's way too pretty for that. Whereas, if the same thing happened with a person who didn't look like Ted Bundy, who didn't fit into the beauty standards, who maybe had greasy hair, was maybe bigger, people would be like, yeah, get him sent to jail. Get him, put capital punishment. Capital punishment. Just because of the way he looks. That blows my mind. And so I think examples like this, and even psychology experiments and all these studies of everything, how can you not believe pretty privilege exists? Like, I was watching, can't remember who else's video, but I will put it here. And she started it off perfectly about these two guys. Both had mugshots, both were sent to prison, but they were attractive. And what happened? They became models. Their sentence completely subsided and they became models, and they were walking in fashion shows and catwalks just because of the way they looked. Never mind the fact that they were charged for weapon abuse and things like that. It's like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. I think as well, we've noticed pretty privilege a lot more in TikTok. When TikTok started becoming bigger, who were the people that got famous? These random, almost talentless people who looked nice. Addison Rae, Charlie, still can't say her last name. But these people that were just dancing on a screen for 5 seconds became worldwide famous people. How? Tell me how that happens, because all these talented people that you see on YouTube trying to sing, trying to actually dance, like professionally dance, and all these TikToks that take ages in editing, and I saw such a good TikTok of this girl. It was really fast paced. She was like doing so many transitions, and what? No one knows who she is. Yeah, they watched her video and they probably liked her video, but no one knows who she is. She hasn't gone to the Met Gala with Addison Rae. But Addison Rae, the girl who was just doing the became famous, went to the Met Gala, making movies. Explain it to me. Explain it to me. If that doesn't emphasize what we look for in people as in a society, what else does? Because if you think of TikTok, you only see these attractive people there, these thirst traps that get all these likes and get TikTok famous by posting a thirst trap, by posting a video of themselves staring at the camera in, I just can't. The sad thing is though, we will still stop. We will still stop and we'll still look at the TikTok. We all do it. I do it. The amount of times I'll be going through TikTok, just minding it, and I'll see this really pretty girl, I'll stop and I'll watch the TikTok. Maybe not like it if I think, how is she famous for just doing that? But I'll still stop and I'll still watch it, and that's the example of how shallow we are as a society. The fact that we do focus on looks, and that is what catches our eye. But I think with that, yeah, it's subconscious, but we can change that. Yeah, we might stop and think, wow, she's pretty. But why can't we change that up? Why can't we say, yeah, she's pretty, but does she deserve the fame? But does she deserve all those likes? It's like we focus on our subconscious so much and we completely just follow it blindly. It is innate for us to find something attractive and see shiny things and get excited and be like, yeah, that person's amazing. But why can't we then see that, yeah, that girl's so pretty, and then control it and decide she's pretty, but does she deserve this? Like Ted Bundy, yeah, he was attractive, but he was a serial killer. Get out of my face. Why are we not kind of controlling our minds in that way? Why is society still so shallow? And that's why it says, yeah, pretty privilege exists, but as a society, we are shallow as hell. We are. When you walk into a classroom, so let's say I'm going to a lecture and I'm looking around, maybe trying to find my friend to sit with, and everyone almost looks the same. There's so many people there that you can't stop and look at every single person. However, that one girl in the back of the room, she's got sharp jawline, she's got beautiful silky hair, beautiful cat-like eyes, tiny nose, big lips, and she will stand out. She'll instantly stand out. You'll look at her and you'll go, wow, she's pretty. And maybe you'll go up to her, you'll just notice her and you'll go up and sit with her. Maybe. Or maybe you'll find her so pretty that you find her intimidating. Whereas everybody else in there all seems to look the same to you. No one really stands out because no one doesn't fit in with the cultural beauty standards of perfection in our today's society. And that is, again, pretty privilege. That is, again, the fact that we are looking at this person and we are stopping and thinking, wow, she's pretty. And we make a beeline to go sit with her and we don't even focus on anyone else. We don't even see anyone else in the room. What is really crazy to me is I actually made a poll on this. I actually did make a poll on if pretty privilege is a real thing or not on my Instagram. And I did not expect a single no. And honestly, I got like 25% of no's. A quarter of people on my Instagram said no, pretty privilege doesn't exist. I'm gonna leave it here. Yes, pretty privilege does exist. And yes, our society is pretty messed up. It exists, but we should be controlling it.